Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. If you hit the bell, you'll get notifications of when there's a new video, when I go live. Check out membership. I'm taping this Thursday evening right before I do 2 lives for my members. I'm doing Angel Tarot, where I try to read for as many people. It's usually around 20 or so people that I read on. I take their personal questions and give them a live reading. And then I'm channeling Archangel Raziel afterwards to do some live channeling about how to use sacred geometry in your life, how to use some of those exercises and practices so you can really go forward with your spiritual journey. And as always, those classes and those lives and everything, it all goes on demand after that, and you can watch it whenever. It all gets uploaded. So lots to look at today. I thought we would look at the Alex Murdaugh trial because that's all everyone's talking about, right? We'll also look at George Santos. We'll talk about him. The lawsuit against 45 is going to be going forward. The Justice Department gave that the green light, so we'll talk about that. Antony Blinken also had that, they're calling it a meeting. I call it more of a run-in with his Russian counterpart. So we'll take a look at what will come of that. And a lot of you have been asking me to read on India, the Prime Minister Modi, and what's going on, with that situation over there. So I thought we would take a look at that too. So let's take a look at the first one. Alex Murdaugh. So this is an interesting case. For those of you who aren't in the US or not following it, this is someone that, he's down south. He's an attorney, or was an attorney. He's been disbarred. Who's on trial for murdering his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. And it's an interesting case because, here is somebody that had it all, right? When you look at his property, and now it's for sale, that gigantic home and all that property, that's all for sale. I really think he thought that he was untouchable. That's the sense I get, like that sense of elitism, that he can just do whatever and it doesn't matter. As you know, in a sense, other than the justice wouldn't be served, but in a sense, it almost doesn't matter what happens with this case because he's never going to see the light of day anyways. He has 99 more cases waiting for, allegedly stealing millions and millions of dollars, right? So, but of course, we want to make sure that justice is served. But let's just see what the cards say, what's going to be the turnout for this. I know Violetta and I took a quick look at it, but we'll take a little bit more of a look. Okay. Oh, all right. Interesting. Let me go one more. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, this has to do with his relationships with other people, right? Like, we know that he was somebody that is very personable. He's a good talker. He knows how to engage people, how to get people to trust him, how to win people over. But he's left very brokenhearted over all of this. So this is not going to have the outcome he wanted. And honestly, I know, like he said, that he had a lot of pills in his pocket that day, like even when he was going to the police station, and, he was very much under the influence. I think he's having a lot of regrets about everything around that time frame, to be honest with you. And things are drastically changing in his life, and not in a positive way. So this is, 9 of Swords, the Knight of Wands, a drastic change that's coming that leads to stress, worry, anxiety. Nothing good. This is also a card of bad health, right? So nothing good is going to come out of this for him. But let me just pick out one more to just give us an overall sense of what we need to know about the outcome. Interesting that we get the 6 of Pentacles. Here's like the scales of justice being weighed. So to me, I'm almost wondering if I'm reading more on simply him or this case at this point then. So I'm not really sure. What I'm going to say is he's not going, this is my sense, he's never going to see the light of day no matter what. But I think none of this is going to have the outcome that he wants. So that makes me feel like something's going to happen where he is found guilty. So we will see. We'll keep our eyes on that one. Also, too, because remember, in the last video, I talked about how I don't follow sports. So I wanted to do as an experiment because somebody had asked me who would win the Super Bowl. and I did, and it came out correctly using the tarot, that if there's something big with sports going on, let me know, and I will check that out too. If it's down to 2 teams, and we can look at 2 teams, let me know, and we can take a look at that. So the House Ethics Committee announces investigation into George Santos. So I'm not surprised. Remember I told you that he's going to be leaving sooner than later. I don't think he's going to be around forever. I told you that. I think if he had any pride, he would just leave. He would excuse himself and just move on, definitely get out of the public eye. But, and I agree. I saw some of the comments, like he probably has mental illness and all. Sure. I agree with that. But he's also serving as a politician. And that's where we have a problem. That's not okay. I mean, obviously somebody in their right mind doesn't do half of what he did. But people also voted for a totally different person, right? They voted on him based on the lies he was telling. So he's into like this whole new phase of his life, right? Things are very much changing. And I think things went his way for a very long time, right? And that's all changing. He's entering this whole new phase where he's going to be held accountable. His obstacle is money, right? This is the card of financial independence and abundance and being successful. And now it's in the obstacle position, right? Because if you're new to my channel, my second card's always the obstacle, the challenge. Because people always say, well, why don't you do reversals? Well, because you have to literally turn them upside down. To me, it's not very spontaneous. Unless I, dump them all out and play pickup. Okay, the next card, the Tower. So, yeah, this is obviously going to be a really big crisis for him. This is going to be a huge problem. This isn't going away. So it's really nice that they're looking into it and they're going to be holding him accountable. This is oftentimes one of my cards, and not just me, but for a lot of readers, I think, a card for the Republican Party. I think this is sort of what he's going to be lacking. So the crisis has to do, it's interesting how money really seems to be the biggest issue here. The crisis is money that he's taken. And, then we get a card of like fighting, war, battle, conflict. And so it's 5 of Wands if you're not looking. And so, yes, this is not going to pan out how he wants it. But I think, justice is going to be served in the situation because he needs to go. I agree with all of you. Yes, there is mental illness there. Yes. But at the same time, he needs to get help and not be serving as a politician, right? And I know you can say, well, what about this person? And what about that politician and this one and that one? Right. Maybe you're right. But at the same time, this is very obvious. It's flagrant, right? It has to be addressed. So the lawsuit against 45 over the Capitol attack should proceed, the Justice Department said. So let's take a look at that. This is also another case where justice certainly needs to be served. We've waited a long time for this. And I feel like, yes, it is. It's going to go forward. And I do feel in this case, justice will be served. But I do think it's going to take a while. And I've said that from the get-go. Our justice system is being very slow and methodical. But I think that's really important. I think that's what we need to do right now. So let me take a look here. Okay. We get this card a lot with 45, don't we? The 7 of Cups, the card of disillusionment. The things inside of these cups simply aren't real. There's ghosts, fairies, baubles, castles. It's all just like a mirage. It's not real. This is a card of someone that's not grounded. And so, this is a situation where he's going to be grounded no matter what, right? He's going to be forced into reality. Now, is he going to stay in denial? I think so. But I don't think the denial's real. And I think this is what we've learned with Fox News, isn't it? That what these people say and what they actually believe, what they think privately, is very different, isn't it? So we're seeing this with Fox News where they're all saying, well, we knew that it wasn't real. We knew it wasn't true. We knew that Biden won, but that's not what our viewers wanted to hear. And we've all seen it now written in black and white where they've come out with these statements now that they're all being privately sued, right? On top of it. I think 45 is very much like that, with this disillusionment where you can just say whatever and there's no consequences and you can, lead an insurrection and it's fine. Nothing happens to you. It's crazy. Interesting. So his obstacles, to me, the Queen of Cups is the queen of emotions. This is a very emotionally charged issue for him. This is not the outcome he wanted. He is sitting there crying his tears right now, right? This is not what he wanted. This is, I really think, very similar to Alex Murdaugh. He thought he was above it all. And even like George Santos, I think even George Santos in many ways, where he so flagrantly lied, I think these people all think that they're untouchable. They're above the law. They're above any sort of justice and consequences, right? And that's not the case. I'll go 3 more. How about that? So 5 of Cups, the card of regret, sorrow. So it's interesting how much emotions are coming into this. So when I see something like this, this tells me that the person didn't expect it. This is very unexpected. That's how disillusioned he is, though. You see? He's not getting the support that he wants. Here's the Hermit. He's all by himself. And we've gotten this a lot recently in readings with him and some of the other people around him, that they really thought that they was going to get more support from the Republican Party, from constituents, from all these other people. And it just didn't happen. And it's a drastic change for him. It's a drastic change. So we know that this is not what he expected. This is not what he wanted. Sort of like Alex Murdaugh, right? The same kind of parallel here in their cards, where they're getting something that they really didn't expect. So yeah, I think justice is going to be served in this one. So the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, as you probably know, or maybe you don't know, the G20 summit is in India. And he met his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov. But they're calling it a meeting. To me, it's more like they brushed up against each other and talked. They're saying for maybe up to 10 minutes. And they was kind of going back and forth talking about the war in Ukraine. And so I thought we'd just take a look at, will anything come out of this? They should have been talking a long time ago, right? The secretaries of state should have had meetings and should have been. But I guess, too, the reason that they didn't is because Vlad has no transparency, right? He's a dictator in a lot of ways. So let's see. But I was glad, though, that Blinken took the opportunity and went with it. I mean, that's all he can do, right? You can't force somebody to sit down and have a proper meeting with you. Okay. Interesting. So this is going to set things into motion here. This is the card of like working hard, working diligently and meticulously. So this is going to set things into motion. This work that, Blinken did, these seeds that he has sown, something's going to come out of it. Let me just ask my guides. Here's 9 of Cups. Contentment and happiness is the obstacle. Okay, so my guides are saying Lavrov was very much taken by surprise with this. That he was sort of like, whoa, like I didn't expect this. This is not what I thought was going to happen here. And my guides are showing me like he thought there was like a wall around him, like protecting him. Interesting. And so he was really taken aback that Blinken had this talk with him. And so this is actually how he was feeling. He was not feeling happy, content, fulfilled. There was nothing like that, But yeah, I'm sure he has the smugness, right? If you ever see him, he is somebody that is rather smug. So interesting. So, all right. So it is going to set kind of things in motion. 4 of Pentacles. For me, 4 of Pentacles, because it's a 4, it talks about having like a nice foundation, right? It takes 4 corners to make a foundation of a home. And so this is like a building block. And I just kind of keep getting that, with the 8 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles, like this is a building block. So, even though it was brief, I think we all would have liked to have seen more, right? All of us as global citizens would like to have seen more of a meeting. That didn't happen. But I think it's like a start. This is my card for Biden, King of Cups. And so I feel like, yes, something's going to happen, under the Biden administration while Biden is in office, and things will start to go forward. So this actually makes me feel really optimistic. These cards are very, and I'm sort of being a little nervous with this optimism. But yes, I feel optimistic about this meeting. Okay. So let's just all send all of our best wishes and good vibes or good intentions to Ukraine. And, those people, it's been a little over a year now, and, it's nothing but misery and suffering for them. And it's just heartbreaking to watch on the news, But I'll tell you, they are tough people, aren't they? They have a backbone. They know how to fight. I'll give them that. Okay, so last one here. Looking at the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. And I hope I said that right. I know it's Modi. I know Modi's his last name. But, you know, if you've ever followed Modi, he's extremely conservative. He had a bromance, they were saying, when 45 was in office, when they met. You know, everyone's calling it a bromance. He's very sympathetic towards Vlad. So not someone that I think most of us would prefer be the head of, you know, the Prime Minister of India. I think he's made, you know, his thoughts, his intentions well known. And as you know, it's in India, where the G20 is being held right now. So let's just take a look at Modi and see, because a lot of you I saw asked, so let's take a look. And then we'll do a 3-card pull using my fairy deck. Okay. Interesting. So I don't know a ton about him. It's not like I read on Modi very often. I mean, it's been several months since I read on him. But he's really interested in making new partnerships and relationships. So I'm going to say he's been doing some networking while the G20 is going on. And he's making the most out of having that summit in his country. He's going around trying to strike up new friendships, new contracts, new business dealings, business partners, that sort of thing, getting support. That's what he cares about the most. His obstacle, though, the High Priestess, she's about secret agendas, hidden motives. And so there's a lot more to him, right? We know that. I don't think that's like a stunning surprise or revelation to anyone who's followed him even that much, right? So we know that this is sort of the realm within which he works, right? He's very much into having secret agendas and hidden motives, right? So we know that. And the cards are implying that that could be his undoing with these new partnerships and new relationships. And look at, interesting, his outcome. When you pair the Four of Swords with the Hermit, this is somebody who's really retreated, sort of like pulled out of the public eye. You know, this is a card of pulling back, being all by yourself over here. So this makes me wonder, first of all, I don't think he'd get reelected. Looking at this, I don't know when their elections are. I think he's been in since 2019. So I don't know if he's up for reelection anytime soon. But this makes me feel like his next election will not go the way he would want it to. So I don't see him getting the support that he needs, despite wanting to make all these friendships and, you know, business partners and, you know, dealings and all that kind of stuff, contracts. Like, he's worrying about all that kind of stuff, but I don't think it's going to happen, especially the way he wants it to. You know, I really think he wants to put himself more out there, gain more support, gain more power. And I think that's a big one for him, is gaining more power, but I don't see it happening. So let me just give the fairy cards here. This is Radley Valentine's fairy deck. Let me just give them a little bit of shuffle, and I'll just take the top 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just take a second to center yourself. Take a deep breath. And some of you, I know, because I can see in the comments, you're overthinking it. Just ask the universe, what do I need to know today? 1, 2, or 3. Okay, ready? Here we go. Card 1, 5 of Winter. Walk away from dishonest associations, realizing that what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness, something that's not worth the effort. So there's something that you need to leave, walk away from, an individual, a situation that's not serving your highest purpose. Maybe at one point it was, or they were, but it's no longer working out for you. And I would say your gut instinct is already telling you to leave, if you got that card. Number 2, ego. The illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. I think sometimes when we start to get caught up in that anxiety mode, we feel like there's no other options for us. This is our future. That's it. You know, what I'm thinking now, right here and now today, that's what's going to happen tomorrow. There's nothing else. Like, I'm going to be stuck in this job that I hate. I'm going to be stuck in this relationship that I hate. That sort of thing. Because you're just letting anxiety take over, and you're not releasing it and letting the universe work its magic. It's when you let go that the universe can step in and take care of you. But sometimes we try to push a certain outcome, and we just, it's sometimes doing that is worse than doing nothing. Because if you're feeding negative energy into your situation, you're setting yourself up in a trap. So try to let go, take a deep breath. Every time you catch yourself having a negative thought, use the law of attraction. Use that saying, I'm so happy and grateful that I have the job of my dreams. I'm in a soulmate relationship. Whatever it is that you want, to sort of just flip the switch, okay? Number 3, the magician. You can do anything. Take charge of your life. You can manifest what you need to be a success. So the magician is about new beginnings, new starts, using your personal power to create a new reality for yourself in which you manifest those things that you desire. So allow, what's magical inside of you, which is your own personal power, right? And our connection to the divine. Allow that to come in so that you can start to manifest those things that you desire. All right, everyone, it was a pleasure making this video. I will see you all again in a few days. Bye.